officially stepping into 2026. Ooh, bug. And the energy of this year is moving faster than ever. If you've been feeling a powerful pull to transform your life, you aren't alone. But big changes require a better plan than just standard resolution. Sorry, I got a new little teleprompter. Today, we're breaking down a practical framework for mastering your goals. I'm sharing the success tips you need to actually stick to your path, avoid burnout, and make this your most impactful year yet. We're moving past intentions and getting straight into results. Before I dive in, if you're enjoying this message or these messages and find value in your session, please consider sharing the love with me by leaving a tip by going to soulhealer.com/live. Your support makes this work possible. Now let's get started. Okay, so welcome to Thursday Night Live. I'm your host, Dr. Rita Louise. So one of my resolutions this year was to make some changes to the introduction to this show, which you can see I'm having a little bit of hiccups with, but it's time number 2. And I'm sure as time goes by, I'll get these buttons figured out and get it worked out so that it doesn't blow up in my face every single time. So when we think of New Year's resolution, we always think about losing weight or quitting smoking or drinking or exercising. And they can be a great vehicle to help you improve yourself and change yourself for the better. But if you think about it, any step forward in your path is better than no step at all. But there are so many other things that you can do, things that might seem closer to your heart that you can incorporate as a New Year's resolution for yourself. So I came up with some categories and I'm just going to throw them out there and see how they bounce off of you and if any of them resonate with you and where you are right now. And so one of the groups that I came up with was called the Courage Challenge. Maybe your resolution will be once a month or when I feel it that I'm going to do something that scares me. Maybe you try to do something that's difficult or seems unachievable to you in this moment now. Maybe you speak up to someone about how you feel or express a boundary that's been crossed. Maybe you learn a new skill. Check out a new computer program, learn a new language, or play with AI. All of those things are going to help you move forward and challenge you in the years ahead. You know, they say that in order to maintain brain plasticity, which means the connections inside your brain stay active, which can become slowed down as you age, is to do something like mentally active on a daily basis. You know, do a crossword puzzle, learn a new language, play on the computer, and do something that requires you to think. And so have the courage to try something new, something different that you thought, there's no way I can do this. But you know, until you try, you'll never find out. You know, kind of falling in that exercise area is get up and get active. You know, start a new, and I'm not going to say exercise program, but a new vitality program. Start going for walks every day or go to the gym. And I'm not even saying do this every day, but just start doing this. Maybe do some Tai Chi or yoga in your living room, to a YouTube video. Maybe get out some weights and do some strength training. Or one of my personal favorites is to put some music on and just start dancing, because that will help activate and invigorate you and your body. And as part of this, get up and active, you could sit there and, try to do a diet, maybe do a detox. Maybe it isn't that time to quit drinking or quitting smoking because you are trying to usher in a new level of yourself on a different physiological level. And so maybe the goal for 2026 is not, I'm going to start an exercise program, but maybe it is, what can I do to create vitality in myself and in my life? And it might be exercise, and exercise might be a piece of it, but you might discover as you explore this idea that other things start filtering in that can support whatever that initial thing is. Or you might start with one idea and that naturally evolves into something else because you've decided that my health and my vitality are important to me. Maybe create a productivity goal. Maybe clean your house or declutter a room. Empty out those kitchen drawers that have all of that junk in it that you haven't touched in 10 years. Maybe get rid of some of that stuff. And this is kind of a dual challenge as well as productivity. Maybe write an article or make a video and post that. Maybe spend some time journaling or meditating. If there's a project that you've been putting off, maybe it's time to start investing some time and energy into it. Even if you spend 20 minutes a week doing something, it's just a matter of time between what that project is or what that goal is will be done. And just imagine that sense of accomplishment that you'll have by doing that. Maybe your goal for 2026 is to shift your attitude or have a new attitude in life. Perhaps the goal is to cut down on your complaining. Maybe you start to pay attention to what's going on inside and use it to direct and steer your life. Maybe, and this is a very simple one, is to start saying thank you and recognizing how the universe has always been at your back, and use it to help open yourself up to receiving or acknowledging the goodness that you have every day. Because many times we receive things from people around us, from the universe, from situations, and we don't acknowledge them. And so by having that attitude of gratitude, one can help stop the complaining, but it also shifts what's going on inside of us into a new, more positive aspect of ourselves. So with everything that I've said, and if you tend to not be real goal-oriented, I'll say goal-oriented, pick one thing that you might be prompted to do. And then pick how often you maybe want to do this thing and make that commitment to yourself. So if it is spending 20 minutes once a week, straightening something up, or doing some exercises, doing yoga 1 day a week or 2 days a week, whatever that is, identify that and then do it. The key is to just do it and be consistent in what you do. Now, here's a little caveat that I'm going to add. If what you're doing starts to become a burden and you're forcing yourself into doing this work, then maybe it's time for you to reassess what's going on And maybe you'll make the decision, well, this isn't really working for me. But it also gives you the opportunity to make the conscious decision that I'm not going to do this anymore, and opens the door for you to pick something else that might be working better for you. And you don't have to have only one resolution. You can have one, and then you can move on and have another, and then you can move on and have another. So the original resolution might be, I'm going to clean out my garage. And you get that done by March, because now you've set your mind to it and you've allocated a certain amount of time to it. And now March is here and you're done. It's like, but you don't have to stop there. You can add something new to it and keep this forward motion, this forward momentum going throughout the year, because it's not an all or nothing thing. It's just a thing. It's just a resolution to yourself. But by the end of the year, if you take on this mentality, by the end of the year, and if you look back at all the successes you've had, you'll be really surprised at where you are by 2027. If you're unsure of what you should do or what you want to do, picking a goal, picking a thing, can kind of be like picking apples from a tree, because there are all this low-hanging fruit that you can choose from. And a lot of times we'll sit there and go, because we feel programmed like, well, I'm going to have a diet and exercise routine, and that's this piece of fruit over here. But you take the fruit off the tree and it feels terrible, and it doesn't feel accomplishable. And it's not that you're afraid of it, you just don't want to do it. So sometimes you have to pick several pieces of fruit off of that tree and hold it and feel it and look at it, and maybe kind of mind play it in your head to see if that's something that you want to pursue. Because anything that you put your energy into, especially with this year being the year of fire and the year of passion, should be something that you're interested in. It shouldn't be something that you have to do per se, but it should be something that you want to do. But if you just like happenstancely make some, arbitrary decision that you don't check out and you don't explore internally a little bit, it's not going to last very long. So if it's something that you're passionate about or that feels good to you, it's something that you're going to have more stick-to-itiveness with. So if it feels good, if it looks good, go for it. And if as you're doing it, it's not feeling right, this is that whole mindfulness piece. If it's not feeling right, it's okay to stop. I would just like to suggest that if you choose to stop, again, choose to stop, that you open the door to bringing something else new in, going back to that tree and picking another piece of fruit after doing a little examination of it, and bring that into your life. Because even if you do 2, 3, 4 different things throughout the course of the year, it's not about a failure, because they're all about you moving forward, you adding value to your life, you checking out things that your intuitive sense is leading you to, you are feeling passionate about, and now you have this experience of having it and having done it. So I hope this makes sense to you. I hope that this has brought up to you, some ideas of creating a New Year's resolution. I know it's not January 1st anymore, but it's never too late to start a new year for yourself. Okay, so before I start opening up everything, so in addition to my new opening thing, which I obviously have some kinks with, There's also something new here at Thursday Night Live. And this is I'm sure I couldn't make this bigger. I probably need to make a graphic to put up. So one of the things that you can do if you go to soulhealer.com/live is, like right now I'm looking at the comments and there's 26 comments, now, and if they're all readings, you may or may not be able to get a reading. And so one of the things that you can do is you can jump to the front of the line. And once I get notification that you've jumped to the front of the line, you will be next in the queue. You can also get a personalized reading from me where you can ask a very specific question. So it's not, I want a card from 1 to 3. It's, you can be like, hey, Dr. Rita, I'm in this new relationship and, what are you getting about it? Or what should I do about this? And so you can get a personalized reading from me. And so, but to do that, you just need to go to soulhealer.com and click on the Dr. Rita Live tab, or go directly to soulhealer.com/live. So please don't get lost in the chatter of what's going on in the comment area, because I love you. And I think, this will really help for people that have been wanting to get readings and they get here late. Or that want to have questions and issues that they would like to get some specific insight on. So this is new for 2026, and we will see how it goes. Okay, let's get rid of that. All right, and now I'm going